Today, we invited you all out so that we can celebrate your children. Clearly, you are parents who are highly involved in with your children, which is why they're being honored here today.
Many of those parents really are very interested in doing more. They really are engaged, but they don't know how to help their children.
1997. You see?
Many of them, it's a language barrier. In some cases, it's that they don't have the same kind of educational skills that they would like to have to help their children.
Everybody is facing the stress of lack of time, work pressures, financial issues. So I think we need to be doing things to engage all families. I think we need to be low income and otherwise disadvantaged families in their kids' learning and development.
When you read a particular book, explain the picture and actually go into and say to them, you think it was cold at that time? And then they go, oh yeah, look at the snow.
What I did was I started buying cooking books. And not only did it help him read, but it also helped him with his math.
So piggyback on what you're saying, it's not strange to me because when we go to the supermarket, honey, we're on a budget. So not only are you reading what's there, but let's look for what's on sale, look for the market.
It's very simple. Children live in families. They learn the most, and the reinforcement is the greatest in families. And so we can train teachers to understand families better and help families understand why education is so important. If we can reach them, then to me, that's the greatest success we can possibly have.
I got involved because I just thought that's what every parent should do. I think when you go back to high school and what did you want to be when you grew up, I knew I wanted to be a mom and be a PTA mom.
What's 100 minus 15?
85.
Yeah.
I think that we have to get creative with the ways that we're going to involve each other.
Let your brother do it.
Maybe you have to offer babysitting during a parent meeting or dinner. One of my child's teachers had a fairly comprehensive newsletter. It made things seem a lot easier and a lot less intimidating. And I think that, even for those parents that can't come into the classroom, broke down a barrier, make it seem as easy as possible to those parents to let them know that it doesn't take a lot of effort to just pay attention to what your kids are doing.
If the school reaches out and says to families, you are our partners in supporting your child's learning, and really walk the talk of that. So the secretary greets the parent when they come into the school. There's a family resource room. Maybe there's a parent liaison in the school.
There is no such thing as a hard-to-reach parent. I actually believe that we're hard to reach. The educators are hard to reach. Our schools are hard to reach.
If we're going to get away from what one expert calls random acts of family involvement to a more systemic approach, we need the involvement of school officials, superintendents, principals, and teachers. We need the involvement of the people who train them so they understand the value of family involvement.
When they asked teachers what was the #1 area that they felt least prepared when they were taking on the role of new teachers, they said family engagement. So we know that if we don't really do this in our pre-service programs, we're really doing a disservice to our new teachers.
I tell my students, and I've told them for years, it's not that parents don't want to be involved. You know, sometimes we push them away.
Families are too important to their child's successful education. And if teachers aren't confident in developing a relationship with families because they're not prepared to do so, then we're ultimately setting that relationship up to fail instead of succeed.
With SH, so sheep. Yes.
We need to remember that not only is the focus here working with the children, but also collaborating with the parents.
He went to the library. Likes that book. Yeah, he was telling me about it.
And I honestly must say you people have done a fabulous job this summer making the parents feel comfortable and important. They come to us not terribly confident about what they know how to do. And in truth, the things we're are fairly simple.
It's 4 square writing. It's to plan his writing. If you put the topic or the introduction.
They have some guidance as to how to pull out the best in his abilities. what works for one child isn't going to always work for another, but they may have a strategy that I never thought of, and, oh, I can try that, and, you know, when I see it work at home, it's excellent. All for you, and that was great.
I think we have to put into all teacher preparation programs a requirement, not a wish, but a requirement, that the sociology of families and how to work with parents are required clinical experiences and courses.